I'm back again. Today I'm going to be discussing the different types of sex. So I want you to pay attention because at the end of this video, I want you to tell me the ones that you have had and what it was like, the experience. You're welcome to Eve's Desire by Tiwa Says, and I am your pleasure coach. So let's get into it. The first type of sex that we are going to be talking about today is break-up sex. Break-up sex. Have you had it before? Have you? Okay, so break-up sex is, the type of sex that people usually have when they want to end a relationship. Like, okay, let me just have the last one before and I'll close the chapter. Or and some people use it for closure. Some people, if they don't do that, they may not have closure, but when they have the last sex, it's kind of, how will I say it? It kind of close the door to that place, like, okay, yes, I'm done, I'm finished, and then they can move on, And some people, women especially, sometimes when they do breakup sex, when they do breakup sex, the other partner is not even aware that they are doing breakup sex. The partner will not even know that they are doing breakup sex. Because, sometimes when a woman is done in her mind, she's done, but the partner may not know. So if she's done in her mind and she has decided that I'm moving on from this, I'm no longer having this, she has that breakup sex. And, sometimes the partner may feel like, oh, this sex is better than usual or whatever. It's the woman telling you that I'm done, especially if she has been complaining and all that. It's her telling you that, okay, I'm closing, let me just do the final one, let me just, and that is it for breakup sex. Now let's go to angry sex. Angry sex is always very, it's very intense, it's very, very intense and very, very, what's that word? It can be very exciting. Because, there are lots of emotions involved because, I'm angry, you are angry, emotions are high. And it's been studied that when emotions are high like that, it also increases arousal. You feel your arousal goes up anyway. So when you now have sex, the sex is always like you are fighting, like it's me that will kill you today, it's me that will kill me today. That kind, it's usually very, very, very intense. And sometimes it involves some kind of role play, where somebody is taking the role of the punisher and the punishee, the person being punished. So most of the time it's the man now that trying to subdue the woman, like, I'm going to deal with you. What do you mean? Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? Who's your teacher? You've been naughty, That kind of sex can be very sweet to a woman. It's angry sex. I sometimes this angry sex, sometimes it solves the problem, sometimes it solves whatever misunderstanding or animosity has been before, because that one just clears the road. It just clears the road. By the time that you are finished dealing with each other, your eyes will now calm down. So it's either you are not able to talk about the real issues that, okay, come here, what was even wrong with you? What was that all about? And you're not better able to talk about it that, okay, this is what happened. Okay, I'm sorry. No, don't do that again. And everybody's happy. So sometimes you need that angry sex. You need it so that everything can. But when the issue is very you are still angry. You will do the angry sex, finish. You will still be angry. That's when the issues are very, very deep. You can't use sex, no matter how pleasurable or intense the sex is. You cannot use sex to solve some major issues, because when you are done with the sex, the issue is still staring you in the face like this. Now, the next one is grief sex. Grief sex. That is when people, I always mention that we are wired differently, everybody is different. So we grieve differently as well. There are people who, when they are grieving, they lose somebody or lose something, because when you are grieving, you are not only, sometimes it's not just grieving for when you lose a person. You can be grieving when you lose a job, when you lose something important. It's just loss. When there's a loss, there's grief. So people grieve differently. Some people, they use sex for grieving. Sorry. Like I always say, we are wired differently. So we grieve differently. There are people who use sex to mask their grief. Like they just use like a diversion. So they don't think about it that time. They like to just have sex, to just relieve them, because of course, when you have sex now, you come, and then come is like, it's like a release. So it's like a temporary release for them, and they use it to manage their grief. So grief sex is always kind of subtle, um emotional, like that. Like it's not hard and strong, or like the angry sex or the makeup sex. It's just always soft and subtle, because you are grieving, and then you are trying to just, and sometimes tears are involved, but that's it. That's how grief sex is. So now let's move on to make up sex. Make up sex is also an exciting one, but make up sex is usually passionate, yeah, passionate, because it involves there are a lot of emotions involved. While there may be some anger, because like I said, makeup, because so you are making up for something, so there might be some subtle anger still there, but there will also be passion, and then there will also be love, and then maybe a bit of sadness or something. So it's always a lot of emotions all together. And makeup sex is, of course, is always passionate as well. It's not angry, but it is passionate. It's, you are getting into each other, feeling each other, and sometimes it might even be not the regular sex. It will not be like your regular sex. It will usually be more passionate. Okay, so now let's move on to sex with influence. And when I say sex with influence, I mean sex that is had under the influence of either alcohol or drugs. A lot of people like to think that alcohol or drugs, like those things, are aphrodisiacs, but they are not aphrodisiacs. It's just that when you take alcohol, or when you take drugs, they let you loose, like you become free. All your inhibitions are gone, and you feel free in your mind, in your body, like nothing is holding you back. So you are able to do the things that you normally not do, because of one or two things. Because you're thinking, like somebody who's usually conscious about their body, like I don't want to show. When you are on alcohol or whatever, you don't think about those things. You are just free. So that is why some of the time, you enjoy the sex more, because you are free, and then you are able to do the things that you normally would have thought, oh, I don't want to do, I don't want to do. You just go, you just let loose, and you let out all the passion. Yeah, that's the word. You let out all the passion, and you do what you want to do without even thinking about it. So that's what sex under the influence does for you. It's not that it's really an aphrodisiac like that. The aphrodisiac like that, it's not. But it just, because when you are high like that, you release a lot of dopamine and all that. So you're just carefree, and then you just do stuff. And the sex is usually interesting, it's always interesting. So that's why a lot of people like to say, they want to have sex under the influence, because the sex under the influence usually are very mad, in quotes, like it's just, you're just there, just doing it back to back to back without thinking about anything. Okay, finally, there is affair sex. I can see you rolling your eyes. Yes, you have had affair sex. Okay, so what makes affair sex exciting? What is affair sex? It is sex that you have, supposing you are a married person, so the sex that you are having outside of your marriage, or if you are in a committed relationship, the sex that you are having outside of that. That is, when you're having an affair and you're having sex, affair sex. What makes this kind of sex? People always like affair sex, very, very charged, very interesting, very you're able to do the things that you normally wouldn't do with your primary partner. Like this your partner, she can do styles, she can do this. Yeah, a lot of people even say that they are freer when they are having affair sex. Having sex with someone who is not their primary partner, who is not their whether they are married partner or committed relationship partner. That the sex is usually more enjoyable, usually more exciting. They are able to do stuff. The person gets them, and all that. Okay, I understand that, and some of the reasons why that may be is because affair sex is usually spontaneous. It's just something that okay, you just charge at each other, you just do. As it's different with the person who you are committed to, the person who you're living with, if it's you have a married spouse, you are living with that person, and you see the person day in, day out, day in, day out, you have sex day in, day out. And if you are not if you don't explore, you are not experimental, you can just be having the same type of sex. So after a while it gets boring. But when you now meet this new person who you just sneak up to places to do it, so the sex is usually spontaneous. And then of course, something that is forbidden in quotes that you're not supposed to do, when you do it, it's usually exciting, because maybe the excitement of, oh, I'm not supposed to be doing this, and then you're doing it. So that drives you, that gives you a lot of excitement. So you just want to go, and that's why it seems like, oh, the sex is usually more exciting. And another thing is, of course, that you don't really owe that person much. There's no responsibility attached to that. Unlike the one at home, like your married partner, that okay, you have responsibility there, you have bills to pay and all that. So that is your consciousness, like, oh, I still have this. But this person, you don't really have anything to do, and that is why some men. It has been said that is why some men have side chicks, so they just go to relieve themselves of all the pressure from the home. They relieve themselves there and do all that they can, and then now go home to the to the same environment. So that is why it seems like affair sex is usually more exciting. But there's really nothing that you're going to be doing with the person you're having an affair with, no sex that you're going to be doing that you cannot do with your committed partner if you are both in the know, if you both communicate and you are both experiment and you are ready to explore and you can explore together. It's just a matter of discussing it, having a conversation that, oh, this is what I want, okay, this is how I want it, and then to stay together in a committed relation, you have to keep inventing, you have to keep exploring, you have to keep bringing up new things so that you can keep the relationship alive, unless it's just going to be downhill, it's just going to die, and then you're going to be seeking your excitement from outside. So that's it about the different types of sex. So if there's anyone that I've not mentioned, you might want to tell me in the comment section so that we can talk about it. And if you have had any of this type of sex, you should also let me know so that you tell me what the experience was like. And the one that you like the best, if it's angry sex, you like the best, or you like makeup sex, or you like breakup sex. Which one? Me, I think that angry sex and that makeup sex is usually very sweet. But I don't know about you. So let me know. And also like this video. And that subscribe button, just click it. It's there, just click it. So that you can get notifications when I have new videos. And also follow us on all our social media handles at The Eagle Online. And that will be all for today.